Our next session is Flying Cars and the Concept of Kinship with Jenna Scheck, Senior Designer of RMW. Welcome, Jenna.
I am Jenna Scheck, as you can see, and I'm from San Francisco, California. I work at RMW Architecture and Interiors. Thank you, Katie. And today, I'm gonna take you on a little journey, and we're gonna talk about flying cars and the concept of kinship. So to start, I want you all to imagine the office of the future. I'm sure you get this question all the time. What does it look like? So we're gonna step inside. When you look in the office of the future, do you see robots rolling around? Is everything automated? Do you go into conference rooms and there's hologram people walking around? Are all the materials sleek and have AV integrated into the materials seamlessly? More importantly, do you see people? Do you see your coworkers? I hope so. So when we talk about these futuristic offices, they often seem cold and mechanical, and they're lacking personality and the human touch. I have a lot of conversations with clients, and I'm sure you do too. They always ask for that next thing in the office or just in general in any space. They're like, what can we do differently? What's that new shiny toy? And I think a lot of companies see the future of the office more of like a hyper-tech environment. And what that negates or neglects is the most important thing that leads us to innovation, and really what that is human connection and being together and feeling like you belong. So again, where are the people? Today, this talk is not going to be about robots and automation. It will be a little bit about flying cars, as the title says, but it's really about the concept of kinship and how we design spaces where we think about what humans need the most in a space, and that's connection, creativity, and belonging. Kinship is about bringing us all together, bringing us to have those connection points and feeling like we are welcomed in any space we're in. And that's what we're going to talk about today. But now I'm going to talk about flying cars for just a minute. When we think about flying cars, it is the future. It's what we're going to be taking instead of an Uber or a Lyft. It's going to be how we go from point A to point B. It is the future of aviation. And my company, we work with a lot of these companies that create tech for these futuristic flying machines. They're electric, and some of them are autonomous. One of the companies that I work with, they're one of those clients that, what's the next best thing? I want that top of the line office that no one's ever seen before. But they also wanted something that was more grounded. They wanted an office better than home. And what does that mean? That means a place where employees feel like they want to go. They want to feel like they belong. And this is everyone, feeling that everyone belongs in the space. So we're going to design for kinship. And these are the planning principles for our office of the future, thinking about kinship in our mind. So neighborhood planning, we all design this way, where we have little neighborhoods within our offices. When we think about these projects, we think of the campus as a city, and we all have our parts and pieces, our destinations that we go to. That's a theater, that's a central gathering spaces, and then we have these neighborhoods that are in every floor for our teams. And in those neighborhoods, you have these homerooms or front porches. And those front porches have these little living room settings where the teams can be flexible and they can make personalization touches within the homerooms. And they can make it feel like home. It's like their living room. And then we look at community zones. These are those gathering spaces. We all want to come together. These are your break rooms, your coffee bars, your all-hand spaces. These are important spaces for all of us to come together. And the architecture is designed to flow into these destination points. So it makes it easy to find, like wayfinding, but in architecture, we curved the walls and made the lights kind of curve with the walls and everything to lead you to those spaces. And cultural storytelling. This is wayfinding and graphics and artifacts that we sprinkle around the office to make you feel a pride in your work and what you're doing. This is the history of and culture of your company, and it makes you feel like what you're doing matters. And then every inch of space matters. So we design these great reception areas, these grand stairs, but we also need to take care in our designing our restrooms, our back-of-house spaces, our indoor or insulated stairways. These are spaces that we need to have equitable design in as well. So those spaces feel just as special as the others. When I go into spaces that I've designed and I see people moving about and using the whole space to its capabilities, and it feels like everyone belongs, that's when I feel like I've done my job and I feel proud of it. This is a space, a stairway, and it's a huge collaboration area. During COVID, we were designing these offices, and everybody was behind a screen and away from each other. And we knew when we were going to be back in the office that we would want everyone to come together and be in these spaces. This is like the hearth of the home. This is the central gathering area, that central meeting zone. But even below the staircase, around it, there's small places for you to have more intimate meetings, places you can go and have a quiet time. So we just need to think about scale and having places for every size gathering. And I know technology, it's so important, especially for these high-tech companies. We need to use technology wisely, integrate it into the design, think about it holistically. And so what should technology do for us in the office? It should make us not have to do repetitive tasks and really support our human insight. It should support wellness within the office, and it should support our collaboration together and not isolate us. I know hybrid is so important, and it allows us the ability to have a life, and things come up within life, and so you can't be at the office all the time. So there's technology that allows that to feel that we're already connected. And within conference rooms, there's AV that allows you to feel like the person's there in the room with you. And so we can partner with our furniture manufacturers and reps to integrate our AV with our furniture and make it feel like a seamless hybrid experience. So some examples of some human-centered technology: smart scheduling. Before you even get to the office, you can have an app that you can schedule your desk for the day. You can schedule your conference room for the day. You can even schedule your lunch. Work and meet anywhere. When we have an office, you should be able to work anywhere in it. In the break room, in the library, in the lounge, anywhere you can work. And then adaptive lighting and mechanical controls. These are really important when you're next to the daylight and it's super bright. You want the light to adapt to that change in light. So vice versa, if it turns up really bright when it's low and dim, and the other way around. And then I had a project a little while ago that when it got really hot inside, the windows would open and allow fresh air into the space. And that was really nice because it was just automatic, where the windows would open when it was hot and close when it was cold. And then seamless digital controls. We all have issues with AV, I know that. Within an office or a campus, every room, every lounge should have the same connection points, and everybody should know how to turn on the AV. I know it's so hard to, sometimes people have difficulty with technology, but all AV should be simple, one click, and you have your information on the screen. So tech should serve humans and not the other way around. Human-centered design. We've talked about ways for designing the architecture for Kinship. We've talked about technology. Now let's talk about the whole person. Everyone works differently, and we have multi-generational, multicultural, and the neurodiverse population is large within every office. So we have to think of how everyone works, and not just take our thoughts and feelings of how people work, but really talk to people. Talk to your end user about their journey throughout the day and what their needs are. So designing for all needs, as I was said, there are introverts and there is extroverts, and there are people in between. And we can find ways to design for them in different kinds of spaces. You have nap pods and rest pods and libraries. But even if you don't have, the budget for this big office with all of these amenity spaces in it, you can design your office. There's furniture solutions for that, and there's little nooks and crannies that you can design within the space so your introverts can go and have a breather. There's spaces for deep focus, collaboration areas, reflection. We all need a moment for play and letting loose. There's fitness gyms, and there's ways for all of us thinking about how all of us work to design that within your space. We want to think about inclusivity and accessibility, so everyone has a journey through the day and makes them feel like they belong. And then wellness. This is really thinking about how we can be in a space and feel healthy and our well-being is taken care of. I know that there's a lot of stress and anxiety within the office and the world, but we can create space that makes that stress less. Maybe it won't go away all the way, but this space that I have on the screen is a meditation, reflection room where you can sit, listen to music throughout the day. That changes. You have that direct connection to light, the exterior, and then you have biophilia, which cleans the air. It has well-being effects to it, and you feel relaxed and recharged. And also, the materials we use in these spaces are non-toxic, and they're healthy materials for people. And they're also healthy materials for the planet. Thinking about sustainability is also important for this wellness factor. It's not just about thinking about us humans, but we also need to think about the world itself. And then connection. We've talked about connection so much, but this is an example. We designed this 3-story opening because these teams were used to working together across one floor plate, and then they moved into this building that they didn't feel like they were connected. So we opened this space up by creating this hole and creating this 3 flowing stair design and the green wall that goes with it. This allowed the teams to feel still connected together. It allowed light to come in, and again, with that biophilia, having that sense of wellness, connection, and belonging within the space. Some final thoughts here. our offices or just spaces in general don't have to look like a science fiction movie or Black Mirror, if you've seen that. They can feel like places where you feel alive, where you feel like you are connected to your coworkers and you feel like you're supported, and that you feel that throughout the day you can get your work done, but you can also take care of yourself. My takeaway from this whole experience of looking through this talk and kind of getting ready for it is that let's stop designing spaces that look futuristic but feel lonely. Let's build environments where we feel connected, we feel like we belong, and where technology amplifies what actually makes us human. Thank you.